This is 911. Do you have an emergency?
Today on Rescue 911, a doomed flight. When a plane crashes on a snowy mountain.
If there are no injuries, there is still only a 50% chance of survival.
Rescuers feel their search is hopeless.
People who crashed in the mountains were never found.
Until skiers hear a distant cry.
We heard somebody yelling for help.
Is he breathing?
Even the best training is not always enough when the unexpected strikes. We begin early on the afternoon of January 19th, 1991, a day that Boston Air Traffic Controller Guy Mercier will never forget.
So then you have to basically split.
Yeah, and with no way to get out. I got you.
After you have or encounter an incident such as I encountered, it's kind of like almost a death in the family. No one really says anything to you because it's a professional environment, but everyone kind of feels bad and says, ooh, something must have happened.
Okay, we're all set? You set?
All set to go.
Okay.
In the Northeast, the weather's always changing by the hour. I issued a clearance off the ground, off the Montpellier Vermont, to a pilot, letting him know that there was some severe conditions on his routing. He was climbing to his assigned altitude and got about 20 miles southwest of the airport and started encountering some severe weather conditions. The clouds are really low, and I'm controlling aircraft above him and below him, so he needs a clearance to climb through those clouds.
Tower 777 Charlie Lima, climb maintain 8,000. I have routing for you after Albany. Advise when you're ready to go. Okay, right. There's some clouds up here. I got light mixed ice. They're about 7,000 to 9,000. Okay, thank you.
He was getting a little bit of icing. The problem when icing builds up on your wings is that when the plane starts slowing down, the performance is not there, and if you don't get out of the icing, the pilot has to do a forced landing wherever he is.
Okay. 77 Charlie Lima, you on top at 8? Negative, I'm going at 8,000.
I realized the top of the ceiling was around 8,500. So if he got at 10,000 feet, he'd be in the clear.
Lima, climb maintain 10,000.
I issued a clearance to climb to 10,000 feet, and I noticed that the pilot wasn't climbing. In fact, he started descending.
I want all other aircraft to stand by, please. Except Charlie Lima, go ahead. Are you in trouble also? Go ahead. Okay, you said you need lower? You're starting to get very gobbled, sir. It might be because of the icing you picked. Yeah, how about some place to go here? Would you like to turn around and go to Rutland? Are you comfortable with an LDA approach?
He was flying over a small airport off of his left wing, and I asked him if he wanted to land there. And the pilot said yes.
Establish maintain 6,000. Okay, you're going to need assistance shooting that approach, sir, or you're going to look it up in your chart. Do you have that chart on?
Conditions worsened as the aircraft approached the airport.
At 777 Charlie Lima, your radar contact is lost. Radar contact is lost, and
He had gone below our radar coverage.
Are you receiving the localizer at all? Yeah, localizer's in and out, sir. What is your altitude now? About 5.5. Okay, sir, you should be safe at 5.5 there. From the 777 Charlie Lima, are you able to maintain at least 5.5 or climb to 6? Negative, I'm down to 4.2 now, got it.
He is in trouble now. The mountains are around 5,500 feet in that area.
Charlie Lima, what are your flight conditions now?
We lost communications with him when he was on the approach, and when we made phone calls to Rutland Airport after we lost communications, they said no aircraft landed there.
when we continue.
Here from 87 Echo.
If an airframe is intact, if the weather is relatively mild, and if there are no injuries, there is still only a 50% chance of survival.
On the way back home from Vermont, the single-engine plane that pilot Mark Maltz and his friend and instructor Jared Healy were flying went down. Air traffic control called Jared's wife Elizabeth in New Jersey to tell her what had happened.
Hello, this is Elizabeth speaking. Can I help you? And they said, well, Jerry encountered ice. We lost him on radar. And
What?
he went down in the mountains.
Oh my God.
And then it dawned on me that there was a really big possibility that he wasn't coming back at all.
As usual, the all-volunteer Civil Air Patrol was called in to help search for the missing plane. Colonel Robert Johnson was in charge.
If an airframe is intact, if the weather is relatively mild, and if there are no injuries, there is still only a 50% chance of survival.
Plot these for me, if you will. Let me know if they're 49.
The impact of a crash or even a hard landing will activate the emergency locator transmitter. We can pick it up on our direction finding equipment both on the ground and from the air, but we weren't receiving the normal emergency locator transmitter sound from the downed aircraft. The aircraft that has gone down looks about the size of a subcompact car, and below tree lines rarely can you see anything.
They said they had to stop the search because of the weather. And I just continued to wait and continued to wait, and he didn't return. And then I started thinking about all the things that he used to say when he used to do rescues, which echoed through my mind the whole time was people who crashed in the mountains were never found. They were just found when the snow thawed out.
Welcome to Killington, Bear Mountain, Outer Limits.
Around noon the next day, Scott Frundlish and Fred Mallet happened to be skiing the trails at Vermont's Killington Mountain.
We were just getting our last runs. We were going to knock off at lunchtime.
Let's rest up a second.
We decided to take the Juggernaut Trail, which was, looked like a very easy trail. We didn't want to get hurt or anything.
Had a workout.
Somebody yelling up there.
Yeah, I just heard it.
We heard somebody yelling for help.
Hello! Hello!
It was almost as if I was imagining myself hearing it. That's how faint it was. But we did hear it.
We couldn't tell where it was really coming from. We just knew it was coming from the right side of the trail.
Whoa, where are you?
And we decided to go in the woods. But before we went in, we set our skis down right where we entered. So it was a good marker.
A guy comes down behind us, and we tell him to let the ski patrol know that we heard somebody yelling for help and just to follow our tracks in.
Where are you? Keep yelling!
We kept trying to maintain voice contact to lead us there.
We're getting closer!
The snow was just about knee-deep, and with ski boots on, it was very difficult.
Keep yelling, we're almost there!
Ski Patrol member Bill Belmonte responded to the call for help.
At first I didn't hear anything, but I did see the two sets of skis sticking in the snow and tracks leading into the woods. And I just figured that some skiers had gone off trail and couldn't find their way back.
All right, we're coming!
We were that close now we could hear, that he was in a plane crash and that, he wasn't alone. And it kind of got our adrenaline pumping, and, now we were freaking out, a little bit. It's like, wow, I can't believe this.
See it? It's up in the tree. I see on top of the ridge.
I could see the plane wing caught up in a big branch, and I could see all the trees were knocked down. They were all burned out. And I looked right below the tree, and I could see him standing there.
Do you see me yet?
He was just really glad to see us. I just remember that big smile he had.
Pretty bad.
He was hugging me, and I didn't want to hug him back. I didn't know if anything was broken on him.
How long you guys been out here?
Overnight.
He was covered with soot, he had all the black all over him. He looked like a mess, basically, but a happy mess.
Come on, I see it.
The other guy was sitting down,
Burnt real bad.
and he was so glad to see us, he was crying.
guy's in bad shape. Both of them had pretty serious burns and maybe some very severe frostbite.
Thank you for finding us.
I thought it was unbelievable that they survived the night before. It was a very cold night, and they were all burned up and busted up. They were lucky to be alive.
We got ski patrol here, guys.
Once I got to the top of the knoll, I could see the fuselage of the plane and the two passengers. And I then became very excited, saying, this is it. These are the two people that everyone's been looking for.
Both passengers are alive.
Considering they had fallen from the sky and spent the night in the woods, they were in excellent shape.
My snowmobile was parked.
I'll never forget that phone call. I was just so relieved and couldn't believe it that I just kind of fell to my knees and thanked God.
Jared and Mark were taken to Rutland Regional Medical Center, where they were both treated for burns and frostbite. Jared had also suffered a broken wrist.
I just had to touch him. I couldn't believe he was there.
Thought about you all the time up here, and all what you told me. To be positive, and because of that, we made it.
Just so glad to have you. All I could say was, you were really on a mountain. You came off a mountain. And he says, I'm here. I'm here.
Mark's frostbite was more serious, and his burns more severe. Mark's girlfriend, Teresa Mitchell, came to see him.
Hey there. I wouldn't have recognized him, except he looked up at me and smiled. He still had the same smile. Better than you.
We could never figure out why we lived at all. It shouldn't have. I've seen crashes where there was a lot less impact, where there was no fire, where a lot less things went wrong, and the people did not live.
I decided to take the airplane straight in as slow as possible in anticipation of the crash. I attempted to go between trees and take the wings off the airplane to leave my fuel load behind me.
One wing went off, the other one didn't. So when I smelled the gas, I said, oh my God, we're in deep trouble. There was nothing but smoke and flames and burning, and I could feel my skin shrivel.
The right wing had bent backwards and blocked our exit from that side.
We had just filled the plane up with gas, and the one right tank was right below us.
We survive a crash, we survive a fire, and we're basically going to freeze to death out here if they didn't come and find us soon.
I was cold immediately, and I only had a t-shirt on. So Jerry gave me the hooded sweatshirt. When I put it on, he looked at me and he says, oh God, don't die, don't die.
Although Mark is scarred from his burns and both he and Jared suffered some nerve damage from frostbite, they have otherwise fully recovered.
To say it's a religious experience doesn't do it justice. It was miraculous, but all the good luck and all the things that happened in our favor wouldn't have meant anything if it hadn't been for the guys that trudged in there and found us. How do you say to somebody, you know, my whole life I owe to you now?
Nice to meet you again.
There's just no real easy way to repay that.
How you doing, Jerry? Hey, how's everything going? Pretty good. You guys look great.
They took the extra effort, and I will be forever grateful to them.
Mark and Teresa were subsequently married and are expecting their first child in December.
The days that used to rush by don't rush by anymore. I always get the opportunity to look at the sky, the trees and grass, and to look at people differently. It made it easier for me to go out of my way for other people. So it's given me a lot more joy back to my life.
At the Kenna home in Milford, Ohio, 16-year-old Angie usually shared a room with her younger sister, Pam. But on November 12, 1993, Pam was staying at their father's house. When their mother, Beverly, left her oldest child and went to bed that evening, she never dreamed that this night would not be like any other.
Angie, I'm gonna go to bed, okay, hon? Okay. Nice week. Good night, Mom. And she was diagnosed as an asthmatic at about the age of 5 or 6. And it's progressively gotten worse. When she gets short of breath, she can't walk any distance because she can't catch her breath enough to do so. But she had had a period of 2 or 3 years where she hadn't had any serious attacks.
With a severe asthma attack, the actual airway tree is so spasmed down that they are unable to breathe air in. They're gonna die if they don't get help right away.
When we continue.
911 emergency. It scares you because you don't know what's happening to her, and there was nothing I could do to help her.
Are you still there? What's the matter? Okay, you're at apartment 27? Yeah. Okay, hold on a second, okay?
Claremont County Dispatcher Marcy Phillips took the call.
She just said asthma. She couldn't talk enough to give me any information. But I knew where she lived through the 911 system. It appears on our screen.
Okay, we got a person on the phone having a severe asthma attack.
Okay, we'll get him right over.
Okay.
Bye.
Beverly? Are you still there? Okay. We're going to send a squad out there, okay? Is there anybody with you?
It scares you because you don't know what's happening to her. The breathing machine got louder in the background. I could not hear her breathing at all.
Pick up that 911.
I'd lost contact with her, and there was nothing I could do to help her.
Miami Township Police Officer Gary Roush had been on patrol less than 4 minutes away.
Dispatcher told me to proceed to an address with the report of a person with difficulty breathing.
To my surprise, there was a police officer at the door.
Hi.
I had no idea why he was there.
Is everything okay here? Is there any problem here? She said that there was no problem there. When I saw a boyfriend appear behind her, my initial suspicions were it was a possible domestic quarrel of some sort. Dispatcher was actually talking to somebody. They said that the person was having difficulty breathing and that they lost contact.
Angie.
Right then I knew if someone was having trouble breathing who it was.
Angie, it's my daughter! It's my daughter!
I was scared to death. Angie was unconscious, and you could hear the mucus in her airway.
She was turning blue, so I advised dispatch to have the squad step it up.
Miami Township paramedics Terry Robbins and Steve Monterosso arrived soon after.
Police officer said, "Hurry up, it's a 16-year-old and she's not breathing. Your heart kind of clamps up. I don't think you take a breath until you get inside there."
Hey, ma'am, we're going to need you to step back.
She's not breathing well enough.
Okay. With asthma, the air passages literally seal up. We were going to have to open up her lungs or we were going to lose her.
Just as I was putting an oral airway into her throat before I went to put that tube into her, she clenched down her jaws, which made intubation almost impossible. I didn't want to lose what little airway we did have. And I just bagged her with an ambu bag.
We're going to have to do something, Steve. We're not moving any air at all. Okay. She was so tight and closed up that as hard as we could squeeze that bag, we couldn't even force any air into her lungs. We gave her some epinephrine, and a little bit of air was now going in. but certainly not enough to bring her around.
Call Claremont County, get air care dispatched.
You could literally watch her heart rate begin to slow down from lack of oxygen. I didn't believe that she would pull out of it.
We're barely getting a little bit of air in.
University of Cincinnati Hospital flight doctor Sabrina Leach took charge at the scene.
Hi.
What's happening?
16-year-old female had an asthma.
I was very concerned because she was doing what we call posturing, what you see when somebody is not getting enough oxygen to her brain. If that continues, she can be permanently brain damaged from that.
Way to give it until you can get her to.
She needed to have an airway. We went ahead and intubated her by sticking a breathing tube down her nose.
Breath sound's coming out, yeah. It's in.
We also went ahead and started giving her medication that is aerosolized and it goes directly into the lungs. You got good breath sounds? This is the most severe asthma case that I've seen. We're going to be going to University Hospital, okay?
It's just so scary seeing her like that. All I could think of was, you know, would she survive this? She just looked so close to death.
She did get something up the scene.
16-year-old Angie Kenna was admitted to the emergency department under the care of Dr. Rashmi Katari.
She was completely unresponsive and basically comatose. She was young, which was in her favor. But it bothered me that she wasn't moving at all. Your daughter's doing much better.
Angie's younger sister Pam and their father David Kenna joined their mother at the hospital as soon as they heard what had happened.
Able to move more air in and out.
I said, "I love you, Angie," and touched her hand so I could see if there was any reaction or anything, and there was none.
She can't breathe on her own at this point.
I was feeling pretty sad. We didn't know if something was wrong with her brain. But I knew she wouldn't die because she's a fighter.
You're going to take her into the intensive care unit next.
4 days later, Angie was released from the hospital.
Ready to shop? Yeah.
Amazingly, she suffered no brain damage.
We'll try on some sunglasses.
It's made me want to stay closer to her. Her asthma's still unstable at this point. She has new medication, and we have an EpiPen that she carries with her. So if she has a problem, she can give herself a shot of adrenaline.
Cool. Different.
I love her with all my heart. I'd do anything for her to help her. If I could, I'd go through the asthma myself, but it's something that she has to do on her own, and all we can do is be there to encourage her.
I just don't think they're you, though.
I used to be really embarrassed of my asthma, but then I realized that there would be times that I would have trouble in front of other people and I couldn't hide it.
It's not going to go away. It's always going to be there. If she can get it under control, she can have a normal life.
Make your fly noise. Come on.
I love my sister and everything about her. She just makes faces and jokes around a lot. If she wouldn't have made it, I'd miss her, all of her being there. She's there for me whenever I need her.
Are we here looking for guys, or are we looking for school?
I want to thank everybody for what they did for her and how they helped her. But none of that would have happened either if she hadn't dialed 911.
I've been told that she had only minutes, that it was that close.
Yeah.
If the dispatcher had not seen the address on the screen, I'm almost positive that she would not have made it.
And I'd be grabbing onto anything.
I don't know whether she knows it or not, but having almost lost her, there's almost nothing I wouldn't do at this point to protect her.
The hardest thing about having asthma is that I can't do as much as my friends, but never do I let it get the best of me.
Oh, there goes one. That was cute.
Next.
We never go anywhere in our car without our seatbelts. And why I overlooked it in riding the go-kart, I don't know.
Unfortunately, when children are born, they don't come with a handbook. On November 6, 1993, when friends and neighbors Steve Scott and Faith Carrizales of Wichita Falls, Texas, agreed to take their kids out for a drive, they had nothing but the best intentions.
Hey, slow down, man.
I didn't feel AJ was old enough to ride a car by himself. There were no harnesses, no seat belts or anything. But we agreed to allow him to ride with Melissa.
Little $5 piece, huh?
5-year-old A.J. Carrizales was put on a cushion in front of 11-year-old Melissa Scott.
He's my only child. I need him just as much as he needs me.
Be careful, have fun. See you on the back side. Okay, let's go. Hey, here we go. All right.
I took off with AJ and he was, screaming and yelling and just having a blast.
AJ was all smiles. He just thought that was the neatest thing. He'd never been in a go-kart before.
Everybody was having a blast, just looking back at each other and making the corners and just excited because this is something that they just hadn't done every day. We got through with the first session and they were cold, but they were still wanting to ride more. And I said, well, maybe one more time.
They had a real fast go-kart. I was trying to catch up with them, but they were way ahead of me. My brother's still right behind me, just making faces and, scaring me. I had the gas all the way down, and we were going awfully fast. It seemed like 50 miles an hour. I came around the corner real fast, and then I slid over.
All of a sudden, there was just a quick turn right in front of us.
What happened? AJ, hey.
It just happened so quick. My head just went, it just popped or something, because I hit it just head on.
Melissa, what happened? What happened?
I didn't see the actual impact, but AJ was very limp and very listless. We weren't real alarmed, we just thought he got the wind knocked out of him.
Lay your head down, buddy. Be real easy.
He had no visible injuries. There was no blood, no bruises, no, nothing.
Hold his hand. Easy.
He was just kind of moaning, like when you got socked in the stomach. And he said, Mommy, I don't want to ride the go-karts anymore. Please, don't bring me back here anymore. Just take me home. Let me go to bed.
We'll give you a call. We'll get back. Okay? Okay, here we go.
AJ's the kind of kid that takes a knock and he gets up running. So if something knocks him down and keeps him down, then that's an alarm for me.
Against A.J.'s objections, Faith decided to take her son to Wichita General Hospital. Robert Penson was the emergency physician on duty that night.
Dr. Penson? The nurse was concerned the child was injured by the way he was holding his abdomen. He also was complaining that actually he was all right and just really wanted to go home.
Show me where you're hurting at. Right here?
I stayed in the waiting area with Brad and Melissa. The hospital didn't look very busy at that time, but all of a sudden there was more doctors, and there was more nurses, and there was people moving around at a faster pace. And that was when the goosebumps came up on me, and I knew that something was not good.
A.J. was given a CAT scan to check for abdominal injuries.
Mommy's right here, okay?
We'll go home when we're done, okay? It's not going to take that long.
He had an extensive laceration of his liver due to all the potential complications. His chances of survival are not that good. To make a decision is his best care.
I was just in a state of shock. And I guess a part of me really didn't want to believe that it was that bad.
Whether he was going to live or whether he wasn't, that was the time to say bye to AJ.
We stood there until a helicopter was out of sight, wondering if you'll be able to see him when you get there.
AJ was taken by Care Flight helicopter to Cook Fort Worth Children's Medical Center, 120 miles away. There, he was put under the care of pediatric surgeon Charles Snyder.
He had a massively distended abdomen by the time I saw him. And I don't think he had more than an hour or two left.
Go.
One of those veins that drain the blood out of the liver back into the body was ripped, and it's a difficult area surgically to get at. He also had essentially torn off half of his liver, and we completed that tear and removed that non-functional segment of the right part of his liver. We did everything we could to try to keep it up, but his blood pressure did drop a few times, and he may have had some poor blood flow to some of the organs in his body, including his brain, and we just won't know.
He could have brain damage, lung damage, kidney failure. They didn't know if the repairs they made to his liver would hold. 95 to 99% of injuries that serious don't survive. They had him medicated in a comatose-like state because they didn't want him to awake and be moving around. And all I could do was just look at all of the digital numbers on all of the equipment that was hooked up to him, just willing him to get higher and to get better.
Oh, God.
All I could think of was how bad I wanted him to make it. And then how would I deal with having a child that may not remember me, may not remember how to talk, or eat, or feed himself, or dress himself.
3 days had passed since the accident.
There wasn't but one thing to do at that point, and that was just pray for AJ. And it just seems like there was a heaven-sent blessing for that little boy.
Mommy opened his eyes.
Oh, you
He's been
did?
asking for you. Yeah.
AJ. AJ, Mommy's here.
AJ, can you open your eyes?
He's such a fighter, and he's so brave. He rarely ever complained.
Hi, sweetheart.
And the way he recovered and bounced back. He captured a lot of hearts while he was down there. Made a lot of friends.
Hey, boys and girls, it's AJ!
Although AJ did lose the sight in his right eye as a result of his injuries, his recovery has been remarkable.
He's doing fantastic. He's running 90 to nothing. I can't keep up with him. It's just like it was before the accident. I always say I need a harness for him.
I was worried about him. He's my friend. He's nice. I'm glad he's still here. Is everybody ready for some cake?
You're home.
He can talk to me, and he can tell me he loves me, and he knows who I am. And that means more than anything. I thank God I took him to the hospital. If I'd taken him home like he wanted, he would have bled to death.
I got a helmet in the garage, knee pads, and arm pads, and I could be safe when I go in a go-kart.
Okay, let me grab hold of you. Okay. We never go anywhere in our car without our seatbelts. And why I overlooked it and didn't think through enough to see the possibility of any danger in riding a go-kart, I don't know. That's something I have to live with.
My little girl, Melissa, had an airbag. It was A.J. Corrales.
He's a miracle child, and, you know, I feel good about that.
They're best of friends. They always will be. They'll never forget each other.
Next.
I just couldn't believe what was going on. 1 second, he was wrestling great. The next thing you know, he's injured and he's laying flat on his back.
On December 2nd, 1993, wrestlers, mostly from colleges across the Northeast, were competing in a tournament in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. After 20 years of coaching, Craig Spencer of Kane College learned that winning or losing is not the only measure of an athlete's character and strength.
The sport of wrestling is the oldest sport participated in throughout history. It is a violent sport, but it's a controlled violence. Mike Wicker was a freshman, and I felt that this tournament was probably a little bit over his head. He hadn't had a lot of matches, but I felt he could hang in there and do very well.
Will Rance, a teammate of Michael's, was also competing in the tournament.
I met him when I first started wrestling, and ever since then we just became good friends. It was one of the best matches he wrestled all year. He was up 4-1.
You got it right now.
Mike was on the bottom, and before he can roll, the guy kicked his arm out. You could tell that there was something wrong because he had screamed that he couldn't move. He couldn't move. I just couldn't believe what was going on. I felt devastated.
When I got to Michael on the mat, and he was yelling out my neck, and you could see the bulge from the disc, and my gut feeling was this is very, very serious.
What happened?
The tournament's certified athletic trainers were called to the floor, including Michael Aid.
Michael was lying face down, and I carefully palpated his neck, and I felt a bony protrusion. And I looked at my partner, and I guess I must have had that look on my face that had doom spelled on it. I said, Jim, get an ambulance. I said, this young man is in very serious trouble.
You got to move him as a unit. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We decided we better log roll Michael.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
You got to do everything in unison, and you've got to be very, very careful when you do this because any twisting, this person could actually be permanently paralyzed or could die.
Get his hand, coach.
He tried to get up, and they told him to stay down. They specifically told him, do not move. And that scared him. I could tell that scared him a lot.
Get up. You're okay. You're all right. Come on. Relax, Mike. Just relax. Take your breathing a little slower.
We had to physically hold him down because he kept on insisting that if I can just move, I will be okay.
Coach, I need to get up, Coach.
1 second, he was wrestling great. And the next thing you know, he's injured and he's laying flat on his back waiting for the paramedics to come. It's just incredible how you could just switch just like that.
19-year-old Michael Wicker was taken to Wilkes-Barre General Hospital and put under the care of neurosurgeon David Sedor.
The test results showed that Michael had slipped the C4 bone over the C5 bone. He was probably within a millimeter of having permanent devastating damage to his spinal cord. The space for the canal for the spinal cord is very badly narrowed. We're going to have to reduce him. He would have damaged his spinal cord further and eventually gone into cardiopulmonary arrest if he had gotten up and not listened to the advice of the trainer.
Michael was put in traction to try to realign the vertebrae in his neck without surgery. He was given a 50-50 chance of recovering. Michael's grandmother, Inez Wicker, who who raised him and his younger sister Chenille since the death of their mother, came to see Michael as soon as she could.
When I first saw Michael, he was laying straight out like he was in a morgue. And I felt very drained out because, in intensive care, you think about death. And we sat down and talked for a while, then he burst out crying. Because I think deep down in his heart, he might have thought that he was going to die. The pain will go away because we want you to get well and come home.
He looked so weak. He couldn't move or nothing. He was just stuck in the bed. And I was really scared. Michael means everything to me because he's my only brother. And I love him a lot, and I don't think he knows.
After a second operation to fuse the damaged vertebrae in his neck, Michael spent 2 months undergoing extensive physical therapy.
This case is a clear example of how important it is not to move somebody with a critical spinal injury, and I just wish that all the cases could end this happily.
Okay, Michael, nice and slow. I'm going to build things up very slow. I like to just do
If it wasn't for Michael aid, if I would have got up even a millimeter, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Great.
And I thank him very much for that.
Take it slow.
I was just one piece in a very difficult puzzle, and Mike Wicker was a very major part of that puzzle because of his determination and his courage. This young man was literally on a deathbed, and I'm just tickled to death that it turned out this way for him.
Mike's doing good. He can do just about everything. He can lift, he can play basketball, he can't wrestle, but for Mike to come back the way he did, it took a lot of guts and courage and a lot of heart.
Though Michael can no longer pursue his love of wrestling as a competitor, he's been made a student assistant for the team.
Nice. When Michael returned, he walked into the room, and several of the kids turned their heads, saw Michael walking in. The entire practice stopped, and they all stood up and started clapping. And Michael's eyes teared up, and all of our eyes teared up to see the wrestlers stand up and applaud like that. They would never do that for me coming into the room.
When I look at Michael, I see a miracle. I'm just so pleased that he's feeling better. And I'm forever asking him, is your neck hurting you? Is your neck hurting? He said, no, it's not bothering me. But it's just my way of, just feeling happy that he's there.
Smile. You don't want to smile? You're on camera.
I went through so much sadness when I lost his mother that I don't think I would have been able to go through any more sadness.
What you want? You don't want what?
When I look at my sister, sometimes I just see my mother there. And the thought of me even losing her or she losing me, I couldn't bear that.
I know it, Joe. You mean it's so crust. I'm real happy because now we can do the same things we were doing before. I like going shopping with Michael because I don't have to pay for nothing. And I think me and my brother are very lucky.
They made that thing, I want to be like Mike. She said just Michael.
We like nothing. I want to be like
Step out of the car, please.